Most people spend their lives trying to eliminate risk, believing safety is the same as security. In reality, avoiding risk often creates the most fragile outcomes of all. Growth, progress, and wealth are not built by comfort, but by understanding which risks move you forward and which ones quietly destroy you. In this video, you will learn why all risk is not bad, how smart people design risk instead of fearing it, and how calculated uncertainty becomes a tool rather than a threat. Like and subscribe to continue learning frameworks that turn uncertainty into long-term advantage. 1. Risk is not danger, it is uncertainty. Risk is commonly confused with danger, but the two are not the same. Danger implies harm is likely, while risk simply means the outcome is not guaranteed. Every meaningful decision carries uncertainty, whether it involves investing, learning a new skill, or changing direction. Avoiding uncertainty does not remove risk. It only replaces visible risk with hidden risk. Staying static may feel safe, but it exposes you to inflation, irrelevance, and dependency. Productive individuals accept uncertainty as part of progress. They focus on understanding variables instead of avoiding them. 2. The hidden risk of playing safe. Choosing safety often feels responsible, but long-term, it can be the riskiest path. Income that never grows loses power. Skills that are never challenged become obsolete. Comfort zones shrink opportunity. Many people unknowingly accept these risks because they are slow and invisible. The danger is delayed, not immediate. Playing safe trades short-term comfort for long-term vulnerability. Those who understand this realize that stagnation carries its own form of risk. 3. Good risk has structure, bad risk has emotion. The difference between good risk and bad risk is structure. Good risk is planned, measured, and intentional. It has limits defined before action is taken. Bad risk is driven by emotion, urgency, or ego. It ignores downside and relies on hope. Successful individuals design risk by controlling what they can while accepting what they cannot. They define acceptable loss and plan responses in advance. Structure converts uncertainty into a controlled experiment. 4. Risk is the price of opportunity. Opportunity exists because outcomes are uncertain. If success were guaranteed, rewards would disappear. Risk creates the premium. The goal is not to eliminate risk, but to choose risks where potential upside outweighs downside. Intelligent risk-taking seeks asymmetry, limited loss with meaningful gain. Understanding this relationship changes decision-making. Risk is no longer something to avoid, but something to price. 5. Systems reduce risk more than courage. Many believe success requires bravery, but in reality, it requires systems. Systems absorb shock. Diversification, planning buffers, and rules reduce exposure. Courage without structure fails under pressure. Structure allows calm execution. Risk handled through systems becomes repeatable. This is why professionals appear confident. They rely on process, not emotion. Systems turn risk into a variable instead of a threat. Long-term success comes from reducing dependence on willpower and increasing reliance on design. 6. Experience shrinks perceived risk. Risk does not disappear with experience, but perception changes. What once felt dangerous becomes familiar through repetition and understanding. This is not recklessness, but clarity. Experience replaces fear with data. Mistakes become feedback rather than failure. Over time, decision quality improves because uncertainty decreases. This is why experts move decisively while beginners hesitate. Exposure combined with reflection converts risk into competence. Avoidance prevents this transformation. 7. Short-term risk build long-term stability. True stability is often built by accepting short-term discomfort. Learning new skills, changing income structures, or investing capital involves uncertainty initially. Over time, these actions create independence and resilience. Avoiding short-term risk often leads to long-term fragility. Those who understand time recognize that temporary uncertainty can produce durable outcomes. Stability is not preserved by avoidance, but earned through controlled exposure. 8. Emotional risk is the most dangerous risk. The most destructive risk is emotional risk. Decisions made from fear, excitement, pressure, or comparison bypass logic. Emotional risk amplifies downside because it ignores preparation. Logical risk acknowledges emotion, but does not obey it. Separating emotion from action is a critical skill. Calm analysis produces consistent results. Emotional reactions produce inconsistency. Mastery of risk begins with emotional regulation. Control over response matters more than control over outcome. 9. Risk is a learning engine. Risk accelerates learning. Every outcome provides information. Controlled failure teaches faster than perfect planning. Without risk, there is no feedback loop. The key is limiting damage while allowing exposure. Strategic risk creates experience without ruin. Each attempt refines judgment. Over time, learning compounds into intuition. Risk becomes a teacher instead of a threat. Growth follows iteration, not avoidance. 10. Productive risk creates long-term power. Productive risk builds capability, confidence, and independence. Each successful exposure increases trust in judgment. Over time, individuals become less reactive and more deliberate. Power comes from knowing which risks to take and which to reject. Those who understand risk operate calmly, while others hesitate. They do not seek danger, but they do not fear uncertainty. Productive risk creates momentum. Momentum creates leverage. Leverage creates long-term advantage. Understanding why all risk is not bad transforms how you approach growth decisions and long-term strategy. Avoiding uncertainty may feel safe, but it often leads to slow erosion rather than security. Structured intentional risk creates resilience, learning, and control. Progress belongs to those who manage risk instead of hiding from it. If you want to keep learning how smart systems turn uncertainty into strength, then like and subscribe so you never miss insights that sharpen judgment and build long-term advantage.